Hello and welcome, you join me AG, and here we are for race 6 of the Mature Racing Club Group 3 Championship, and this time round we're at Catalunya for a 40-minute race. Tyre wear is on, and you start with half a tank of fuel. So the results of last race determine the grid order of this race, so we'll quickly go through the grid. So Mole is in first position in the McLaren F1. Wimpy is in second. Ricky J is in third. Mr. Ginge is in fourth. Lega is in fifth. Faithlessimo in sixth. Seventh is S2 Law. Eighth is B Rated. Ninth is Bobby, MRC Bobby, organiser of the whole championship. Diablo is in 10th, all the way from Australia. L Game is in 11th. GT Deli B is in 12th. Donkey Chong 3 times Fusion MRC champion is in 13th. Pav 46 is in 14th. Munguinho is in 15th. And we've got VQS Dawson, winner of race 5 around Tokyo, in 16th position. So without much further ado, we're going to jump up to Molly at the beginning, right in pole position, and start the race, looking back from his perspective. So we see they're away, and we see Moley getting a really good start. Mr. Ginge coming through, and Faithlessimo taking to the grass to get past, who is it, Wimpy there. So we're on board with Mr. Ginge now, as Moley just gets a really good start. Bit of contact, all heading into that corner together. Works out in Mr. Ginger's favour. He just gets a bump to the rear and a little boost. Faithlessimo follows him through into third. And we go down the order. We've got S2 Law in fourth now. Ricky J in fifth, trying to defend his position to GT Deli down the inside. Ricky J just making a bad mistake there though. GT Deli just goes through. Dives down the inside, but Ricky makes it easy for him. We've got Donkey Chong chasing his way up. Wimpy going deep on the brakes and goes wide. So Donkey Chong's up into 6th. MRC Bobby in 7th now. It's all going on. Got GT Deli challenging for 4th place, side by side with Mr. Ginge. Bit of contact. It allows Donkey Chong to just drive through as GT Deli loses a bit of momentum because of that contact. Bobby's just picked up a penalty behind, a 2-second penalty by cutting the corner a little bit. Donkey Chong's down the inside of Mr. Ginge now, looking for the opportunity, but he's got GT Deli also diving down the inside of him. So not managing to get the job done on Mr. Ginge, and GT Deli's actually done a nice job there to get into 5th. S2 Law going a little bit wide through this corner, so opening up the apex to everyone. GT Deli pushes his way past a little bit, no contact, but just a bit aggressive, and gets up into 4th. And the big loser through that one, Mr. Ginge, has just lost loads of positions through those last couple of corners. Donkey Chong just gets the run on the last couple of corners to get past GT Deli. We see S2 Law losing it on the exit there with a bit of contact from Bobby. So he's dropped right out. Diablo up into 6th. He's got Munguinho at the side of him. There's a lot going on. But Bobby got caught out a little bit on the last corner. There was not a lot of he could do. I've already watched the first lap back. And there was a bit of action between 2 people in front of him. I can't remember who it was exactly, but the 2 people in front of him, and he had nowhere to go, so he ended up going into the back of someone, and then I've forgotten the names. I'm not familiar with everyone's name, and then ended up losing out down the straight. Anyway, we've got Diablo struggling away. VQS Dawson starting from 16th position, making his way through the field, now up into 7th on the back of Munguinho. GT Deli's trying his best to stick with MRC Bobby in front of him. Got the penalty of 1.9 seconds, Bobby in front, so he'll have to lose that throughout the race. But Bobby's trying to stick with Donkey Chong in 3rd position in front of him, also picked up a penalty. We've got Dawson just getting a run on Munguinho, as Munguinho goes a little bit deep into that corner, gets the exit wrong, and Dawson just gets a run past him to pull his way up into 6th position. Gets a chance to try and claw his way onto the back of Deli now. Deli's right on the back of Bobby, as we can see in front. We've actually had a position change up front as well, so we've got Faithlessimo into 1st now. Moley's dropped into 2nd. was a good overtake by Faithlessimo, but there's so much going on, they can't feature everything. Donkey Chong right on the back of Morley, trying to give him as much pressure as possible through the last corner to run him wide. He manages to get a good run, does Donkey Chong, so he's got the run now, but the GTR, you can see the top speed of it, just manages to pull back in front, and Donkey Chong just has to pull back in behind for the first corner and hope to outbrake him. So they go back down the inside of each other as we look from Bobby's perspective, following from fourth. A little bit of a touch mid-corner, which puts Donkey Chong out wide. And a little bit of a touch back, which pushes Morley out wide as well. So Bobby just drives through with a gap developing. GT Deli hoping to get past now as he gets side by side with Morley into the fourth corner, is it? 2 penalties in front. He's hoping for the best is Deli at this point, no doubt. We've got Faithlessimo that's managed to just drive away at this point in the race, with everyone battling behind him. So Dawson up into 5th now, doing a really good job of coming through the field and battling his way to try and get past GT Deli and the guys in front now. We see Morley having a massive moment into there, so Munguinho just getting the drive past with a better line and takes 6th place off Morley. So a bad lap for Morley is his 3rd lap. He dropped a lot of positions. Diablo keeping it nice and steady in 8th on his own, B rated in 9th. Bit of a gap to everyone else behind him. Lega in 10th. Lega's getting chased down by Mr. Ginge that's got a 1 second penalty. S2 Law is in 12th now. Pav in 13th. So some of the faster guys towards the back, unfortunately, in this race. L-Game in 14th. Wimpy 82 in 15th, and Ricky J finds himself in 16th at the moment on the medium tyre though, so probably explains why. So we'll jump back up towards the action. So up front we've got GT Deli trying to fight with Munguinho and Dawson. Dawson's made his way past Munguinho there to get his way up into 4th now, so he's just gone from 5th to 4th. Good racing from Dawson. I've heard quite a bit about this Dawson guy, but I've not really seen much of his racing, so it's good to actually watch him and have the opportunity to watch one of these fast guys actually make his way and carve his way through the field with good clean overtakes everywhere that they go. So we'll keep an eye on Dawson trying to get past Bobby now as well. Skip up the camera angles to keep it fresh. Right on the bumper, as we can see on the back of Bobby there, putting some pressure on mid-corner. Bobby has a little bit of a moment of oversteer as he comes through the corner, so that just allows Dawson to drive through into 3rd. Donkey Chong in 2nd now, and Faithlessimo in 1st. So Dawson and Donkey Chong will be doing the best to chase down Faithlessimo as fast as possible now and get the gap to the guys behind. Bobby looks like he's struggling a little bit on this lap, so he's gone wide into the gravel through there, which allows Deli to drive through into 4th. And Munguinho now in 6th, looking to get the opportunity to get past after that mistake from Bobby. Morley in 7th, looking to get back into this race. He was up front to start off with, and he's dropped back a little bit. So Munguinho diving to the inside through the tight left-hander to find himself coming out in 5th, side by side with Bobby. 3.2 second penalty now Bobby's holding. Side by side still as they come out of the exit, but Bobby just gets a massive moment of oversteer going on and loses his position there. So Munguinho wins that little battle between those two, stays in 5th position, and benefits Morley as well, which gains 6th, B rated, which gains 7th, and Bobby's now down into 8th. Luckily, one positive from that is Bobby's lost quite a lot of his penalty, but now he's got Diablo right on his tail as well. And it looks like behind them, Diablo just goes into the back of him, punts him off onto the last corner. So Diablo, a bit of a bad move from him there, but Bobby loses out yet again there, so really bad lap there for Bobby. Lega's got all sorts of pressure on him from path behind, trying to go for the inside to claim 9th position, which he now does. I'm going to have to stop and have a drink in a second, this is getting too much. Lega in 10th now as Pav dives to the inside down into T1 on the beginning of lap 5. And we're almost 10 minutes into this race now. Well, we're almost 8 minutes in. 8 minutes has just gone. So S2 Law up into 11th as he now chases Lega. Bobby trying to get his way back into the race after a couple of bad incidents on that lap to drop him right back. Ricky J in 13th, L Game in 40. Ricky J in 12th, L Game in 13th. 14th is Mr. Ginge, and Wimpy 82 in 15th. Looks like Bobby might have dropped out now actually. So bit of credit to Faithlessimo as he's leading the race and we haven't really watched him yet. For some reason I can't seem to change view. There we go. Making his way towards the pits no doubt as we see his fuel flashing at the bottom, so let's see if Donkey Chong's in the same position. Nope, Donkey Chong seems to be able to manage to drive that a little bit longer on the fuel in the Lexus, so he manages to go for another lap. GT Deli in the pits now as well, Dawson in the pits, so fair few people diving in the pits. Munguinho in the GTR managing to go for another lap as well with the fuel. But most people look like they're diving into the pits at the end of lap 5. So where's Dawson going to come out? Interestingly, because he's going to have the track position on Donkey Chong after this lap probably, once Donkey Chong comes into the pits. So we've got GT Deli and Dawson just leaving the pits together, so side by side as Diablo finds himself going through without going into the pits into 4th now, but he's obviously got the worst tyre wear between these guys as these guys have just got fresh tyres on. So GT Deli's gone for the super softs, Dawson on the soft. Interesting between these guys. Diablo just getting out of the way by the look of it to let these guys through, either that or a bit of a mistake and going extremely wide. GT Deli has nowhere to go, touches the back of Diablo as Diablo struggles to get it stopped on the worn tyres. So it looks like Diablo is actually holding up GT Deli at this point in the race. Diablo having a little moment there on the gravel, so Deli's got his chance to dive down the inside, which he does. Nice and cleanly gets past up into 5th, which shouldn't bother Diablo too much because he's needed to pit this lap round probably. So we've got Donkey Chong coming in this lap now. Munguinho will be diving in the pits this lap as we see him with no fuel coming towards the end. Faithlessimo in 3rd position now, but he's pitted, so he'll be looking to regain 1st position now, inherit it again as he comes past the start finish line as the guys in the 1st position are in the pits. So Dawson coming through in 2nd, GT Deli in 3rd now, as we'll watch Munguinho and Donkey Chong coming out of the pits. Donkey Chong comes out, so Donkey Chong actually comes back out into 3rd position ahead of GT Deli, and Munguinho comes out in, looks like 7th, side by side with B-Rated. So B-Rated has pitted, but he's not put as much fuel on, so he's just gained that little bit of time to come out in front of Munguinho in the McLaren. Good work there and good strategy. This is where the strategy starts coming into play in these longer races. It does mean that B-Rated will have to either pit in front of Munguinho, or he'll have to save some fuel. Anyway, we'll jump back on board with Dawson and see where he is in comparison to Faithlessimo. So if we look back, there's a bit of a gap to Dawson behind him in 2nd there from Faithless. So we'll look at the rest of the race for Faithless and see if he keeps it nice and clean and consistent, and see if he can keep it going in 1st place. Dawson closing up on him quite a lot by the look of it on the brakes there. I really need that drink like I mentioned. So Donkey Chong doing a good job. Started towards the back of the race with a good result in race 5, which obviously with the reverse grid puts you towards the back for the start of the 2nd race. Same with GT Deli. So these guys have made their way through the field. They didn't start towards the front. Diablo in 5th now, trying to make the strategy work. He's done a lot of endurance racing as Diablo, so there's one thing Diablo knows about, it's the strategy to be able to come back into the race possibly. B-Rated and Munguinho side by side. Munguinho going for the inside line into T1 as B-Rated decides to just let him go by the look of it. Munguinho getting a little bit sideways on the exit of T2 as they go through T3 now. third corner and head towards the braking zone into the fourth. B-Rater just keeping it nice and steady, keeping nice and close, and keeping the slipstream going from Munguinho in front. Both trying to chase down Diablo, so they don't want to be fighting too hard against each other. Pav in 8th now. S2 Law going a little bit wide just as we drop to him, as Moley's right on his tail in 10th. Hard car to drive is what Moley's driving, the McLaren. We've got Mr. Ginge in 11th, Lega in 12th now, Wimpy 82 in 13th, and Ricky J in 14th. A couple of guys have dropped out, L-Game and who else? Sorry, not L-Game, is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. A few guys have dropped out anyway. Definitely Bobby. So battle going on now as we see the gaps come right down as Dawson's caught up to Faithless Emo, and then now he's chasing him down for first place. So we'll keep an eye on this for a lap or two, if that's what it takes. We'll compare the tyre wear between them as well. So if you look at Faithless, going for the move, Dawson down the inside, not giving each other much room. Faithless Emo choosing to stay to the inside to force Dawson to go down the narrow route rather than being able to pull back out wide. So Dawson doing a good move there into T1 and just getting the move done nice and cleanly, and Faithless Emo has to drop in behind. So if we look at the tyre wear, Dawson's got a little bit of tyre wear, he's on the soft tyre, and Emo's got a little bit more, just a touch more. No, in fact they're exactly the same, saying that. Fuel, Dawson's got a touch more. So very close between the cars and the condition that they're in at the moment. That little bit of a battle that didn't go on for very long, but has brought Donkey Chong into the race a little bit more, so he's just about onto the back of these guys to be able to get the slipstream down the straight. GT Delhi having a really good race, battling away with these really fast guys at the top in 4th. He's a good racer, his GT Delhi, gets some really good results. Munguinho in 5th now. B-Rater dropped off Munguinho a little bit, so a bit of breathing room gained now from Munguinho. Gets a chance to just concentrate on catching Delhi in front of him. Not sure what's happened, whether it's just the tyres or what, but B-Rater's dropped off Munguinho quite a little bit, so just releasing that little bit of pressure that he had on him before. Diablo trying his best to catch up to Pav in front. We all know Pav's not a slow guy though, so Diablo's got his work cut out to get that done. S2 Law, no one really in front of him to see, so Diablo's in front of him, but he can't really see him on track. S2 Law doing his best to keep in front of Moley as they fight through this middle stage of the race. We'll go back and try and find the action, the best action there is going on. Stick with that pretty much, so it's pretty much the top guys that are battling away as close as possible. So Donkey Chong, we'll watch him as he catches up with Faithless Emo in front, as he's dropped off Dyson a little bit. Now he's in 2nd place. Dyson doing a really good, Dawson doing a really good job of pulling a nice gap as he's got past up into 1st. Oh, Faithless Emo going deep, getting it wrong on the brakes there. I wasn't expecting that, so I didn't know what to say. Yeah, getting it wrong on the brakes there. So Donkey Chong just getting a chance to keep it nice and tidy through that corner whilst he went deep and drive his way past up into 2nd. So good move, just made the opportunity work as there was a mistake there. So Faithless Emo will be kicking himself a little bit about that one. Unforced error, as they call it in tennis, but I always like to think of it as the same thing almost in racing. It's one thing if you're getting a lot of pressure from behind, but just outbroke himself there and let Donkey Chong past, which is quite a quick guy. I know these guys race together quite a lot in the MRC, but Once Donkey Chong's passed, I don't think it's going to be easy to get back past him. So Donkey Chong's now released to try and catch Dawson up, which will be interesting to see if he can do. GT Jelly's dropped off this battle a little bit, but you can see it all happening in the distance in front. We'll stick with Donkey Chong now as we go on board with him. See if he can catch Dawson over the remainder of this lap. Carrying that 0.2 second of a penalty, but nothing to worry about there, it's not a big one. He might argue it's a big one, but I'm going to tell him it's a small one as that. No innuendo intended, obviously. Trying to close up on the brakes, get the exit nice and smooth. Had a kick of oversteer on the steering by the look of it to sort out on the exit, but nothing major. Hug that inside line. Tyres are definitely going on him at the rear, struggling to get that traction down. Keeping it nice and neat through these last couple of corners. Hugging that inside curb to be able to get the power down all the way through the last corner. So doing a good job of chasing Dawson, but closed in a little bit through a few corners, and Dawson's managed to pull away a little bit. So GT Jelly jumps into the pits. B-Rated's in the pits this lap as well. Looks like GT Jelly's taking fuel on, and B-Rated will be doing the same. So let's see if Diablo can come round and actually gain a position from this. As we see, GT Jelly's just leaving the pits, so Diablo's nowhere near behind. B-Rated's just leaving the pits, and Diablo's quite close behind now, so might be quite a battle between these guys. So Diablo's still in 7th as B-Rated comes out in 6th, and GT Jelly comes out in 5th. So not bad positions after a pit stop to be coming out in 5th. The guys towards the front now as well will be looking to stop again as their tyres are getting worn and the fuel's getting towards that point. Faithlessimo definitely battling his tyre wear now with the left hand side tyres, so every time he goes through a right hand corner loading up those left hand tyres he's just struggling with it. Same with Donkey Chong and Dawson to a point as well, so going through these kind of corners now, loading up the left hand tyres for a long time, going through the long sweeping right handers. It's just a struggle when the tyre wear gets this bad, so everyone's battling that at this point in the race just to give it some kind of perspective. Might look like people are going a lot slower than they were, and that's probably why. So Dawson choosing to stay out for another lap, he's got the fuel to do so. Donkey Chong choosing to come in the pits and probably get some fresh tyres. Faithlessimo looking to go again for another lap, just looking to get the most out of the tyres before stopping again and the fuel. Munguinho running out of fuel, so he has to dive in the pits this time round. So Dawson and Emo will be pitting next lap round, no doubt. Donkey Chong comes out in 3rd position, GT Jelly in 4th. B-Rated in 5th after the pit stops kind of sort themselves out. Diablo's up into 6th, or is it? No, he's not quite. He's still in 7th. B-Rated's battling with Munguinho as Munguinho comes out of the pits. B-Rated just about gets around the outside of Munguinho into the first corner and gets the track position on Munguinho into the next couple of corners. So Munguinho having to get a bit of work done now to get past B-Rated as they come out of the pits in different positions. Looks like Munguinho analysing it a little bit. Munguinho's taking on more fuel, so he's dropped back that little bit because of the fuel that he's taken, but he should be able to go that little bit further into this race without having to worry about the fuel. So it might work out for him in the long run, but he's come out in behind B-Rated at the for the time being. I need another drink. Diablo in 7th. Looks like he's having a bit of a scrappy week. I know Diablo is a quick racer. I've raced against him often enough. I do quite a lot of practice with Diablo as well. But yeah, Looks like he's not had the best week for Diablo's standards, so a bit unfortunate there for him. VQS Dawson, as we predicted, has jumped in the pits now. Donkey Chong is just free to drive past as those guys are in the pits and going to first place. Dawson taking on fuel and new tyres. Faithless Emo doing the same. GT Delhi up into second, inheriting second place as these guys are still sat in the pits. B-rated coming down the start finish straight now, so I think Dawson and Emo will probably come out of the pits before B-rated gets it. Yep, Dawson's out, Emo's out, so they both follow each other out quite closely as they're now in third and fourth, Emo and Dawson. Bit of work to do from Emo to get right in the slipstream, but it's all there in front of him to do. GT Delhi is going to find himself getting caught now probably as he's got slightly more tyre wear than the guys behind him. And same with Donkey Chong, even though he's out front now, he's got slightly more tyre wear than Dawson and Emo, so they've got potentially the chance to catch up. Munginho right on the back of B-rated now, well and truly got the slipstream going on. Taking different lines into that corner. Munginho carrying a lot more speed than B-rated though, so he's caught right up on that corner there. Quite close as he comes through the exit. Pav in 7th now, having quite a good race coming through and making up a few positions eventually. Diablo in 8th after the pits. Moley in 9th, started in first position in this race, did Moley, so he's had a bit of a mixed race, dropping right back at the beginning. S2 Law in 10th, Legger in 11th now, Mr. Ginge in 12th, and Wimpy 82 in 13th position. A few people have dropped out, so that's why there's no longer 16. GT Delhi catching a back marker. Looks like it's ghosted with the settings that we've got, so no problem there for Delhi to be able to drive through. Either that or the back marker just put auto drive on. So Dawson follows GT Delhi through. Gets really close as he dives to the inside, does Dawson for the good overtake through turn 4. And he's now up into second position with the opportunity to try and get away from Delhi and chase down Donkey Chong. Delhi with his slightly worn tyres, I feared that would happen to him, and it has done. I felt like it was only a matter of time. It's just a difference in strategy basically. There's a slight difference going on between the pit stops, and some people are getting caught slightly faster than others because they're on worn tyres basically. Faithless Emo looks like he's dropped off the back of Dawson as they both came out of the pits pretty close together. So Emo's got a little bit more work to do to get past GT Delhi, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that and see if we can do it, get third position. GT Delhi's going to end up coming in the pits before these guys, so it'll all end up working out towards the end of the race. We're nearly halfway through, we're over halfway through. We're nearly half an hour through. As we come up towards the 30-minute mark, we've just 12 minutes left at the moment. So we see B-Raid come through, Munginho. These guys are having quite a good race between them, the two of them. Pretty much been going on for the whole time. Diablo trying his best. I know Diablo pretty well and he won't want to be sat there in 8th position, so he's trying his best to catch up to Pav in front. Pav coming through nicely in 7th there. So we'll try and catch some action wherever it is. Looks like Faithless Emo's getting onto the back of Delhi now. Not mega close, but he's certainly trying to chase him down. Faithless Emo does quite a lot of streaming, so go check him out on YouTube if you're interested. Seems like a really good racer. I'm not raced with him much if I'm honest, but certainly seems like a good racer from his YouTube videos. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already whilst I'm at it, whilst we're mentioning YouTube. Why not give me a subscribe? I'm trying to get up to 100 subscriptions by Christmas. It might sound like a small number to some people, but it'd be nice, it'd be a personal achievement if I could get there myself, so it'd be nice to see it happen. So if you can help me out at all in any way, shape or form, or get anyone else to subscribe that you think might enjoy these videos, then do so, and help me out trying to get up to 100 before Christmas. Anyway, we've got Turismo getting a good run, and the slipstream on Delhi, diving to the inside, down into T1 at Catalunya now. Nothing to be seen out of the back window there, but Turismo are doing a good job to get past Delhi. Nice and cleanly done as well, just got it done on the brakes. So the tyre wear is pretty bad around this track because of all the prolonged right hand corners. If you think about it, we've already gone through the first corner, which is quite a prolonged right hand corner, then the second, then the third, the second even. There's so many corners basically that cause such bad tyre wear is what I'm getting at on this track. So it's a real dark art, he's trying to save the tyres. Donkey Chong's got such a gap now to Dawson, it's you can't even see each other on the long straight. So GT Delhi's dropped right off the back of Emo, now he's got into third place. He's just managed to pull away and gained a nice little gap to GT Delhi. Delhi probably coming into the pits this lap, looking at his fuel, he's nearly run out, so we could do with new tyres as well. So B rated will be coming through to inherit 4th place if he stops out for another lap. So it's quite tactical in these races for what lap you try and get to and where you try and pit. So, oh, we see B rated actually diving to the pits. Probably could have gone another lap on his fuel, but just decided not to. So GT Delhi and B rated in the pits now on lap 17. Munguinho still got the fuel, but suffering pretty bad tyre wear as he heads on to the start of lap 18 into T1. Lega in the background, there's a back marker there in 11th. Dawson's still no sight of Donkey Chong in front. Donkey Chong carrying a little bit of a penalty, but still doing a good job up front. Needs fuel this lap by the look of it though, so he'll be coming in. Dawson's got plenty of fuel, so he'll be carrying on so long as his tyres can hold out for a bit longer. I don't know if Dawson will be trying to get to the end on these tyres. He's got 8 minutes to go if he wants to do it, so it's quite a big ask on the soft tyre, and he's already picked up quite a bit of fuel, tyre wear. Munguinho and another back marker, Mr. Ginge. So Munguinho getting past Mr. Ginge in 10th position, but Mr. Ginge and Lega look like they're having their own race in 10th and 11th. Which is good to see, even though they're not in the top positions, they're still having a bit of a battle between the guys. Donkey Chong in the pits from first, having to take on fuel, but it won't need much, seeing as though we're close to the end of the race. So Dawson drives through into first and inherits first, as we see Donkey Chong coming out of the pits in second, so incredibly loud for some reason as he exits the pits. Chasing down Dawson now, so the roles have reversed. So Dawson is now in the lead and Donkey Chong has fresh tyres, but he's chasing him down in second. GT Delhi with fresh tyres now and fuel to finish the race in third. We've got B rated with fresh tyres and fuel to finish the race in fourth. I've spoken that much, the Majosa in a little bit. We've got Munguinho in fifth with enough fuel to finish the race, so and fresh tyres, so he should be able to carry on till the end now. He's got a 1.7 second penalty to lose though. Pav, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to make most of that penalty from Munguinho. He's a bit too far behind in 6th position with tyres to last, I think, even though he's got a little bit of tyre wear, and fuel definitely to last till the end. Diablo, same, fuel and tyres to last. Moley might need another stop with fuel, I'm not sure. S2 Law might be stopping again. Medium tyres for Mr. Ginge, but they're pretty worn, and he's got the fuel to last, so it'll be an interesting race as Mr. MRC Gr3 behind him has better tyres than him, and he's on the soft tyre as well, so he'll definitely be looking to get past Gr3 into 10th position, past Mr. Ginge, as Mr. Ginge has bad tyre wear on the medium tyre, and Mr. Wimpy 82 in 12th position now. So a bit of a battle going on at the back here between MRC Gr3 and Mr. Ginge for 10th position. Oh, we see GT Delhi coming through now though. In 3rd position, coming through to take these guys as back markers again, so we'll jump up, see what's going on. We've got B-rated, nothing really close going on at the moment. It's getting towards the end, so we'll jump on board with Donkey Chong again, see if we can catch up to Dawson on the remainder of this lap, just to give it a bit of a change. And 40 minutes is a long time, don't just want you watching from one perspective the whole time, so it's good to jump on board every now and again with someone, and especially if they're chasing for 1st place. Coming towards the last sector of the lap now, carrying as much speed as possible through there in 4th gear, and then late on the brakes, late as you dare, get it hooked up to the apex and then back on the power as smoothly as possible, take as much curb over here as possible, and then early on the brakes, you don't want to run deep into there, so you can get it nice and controlled, as almost called him Chewy there, I don't know why, but Donkey Chong did there nicely over the curbs, keeping it nice and tidy, right on the bumper of Dawson. Very good to see, good close, clean racing, and putting the pressure on Dawson now. So we'll stick with this for a little bit longer, see if Chewy or Donkey Chong can get the dive down into the 1st corner. Got quite the reputation as Donkey Chong, being 3-time Fusion champion in the MRC GT TCC. What a mouthful. Takes 1st place with a beautiful dive down the inside of Dawson there, and just gets the job done nicely, basically. No contact between the guys. Dawson was obviously aware that he was coming and kept it nice and clean between them, so good job Dawson. If we look at his tyre wear between Donkey Chong, he's obviously suffering compared, so no doubt Donkey Chong will just pull away now as he's got fresher tyres, and Dawson might end up battling his way through the corners and find himself dropping back to Delhi if he's not careful. 3 minutes to go before the last lap, so we've got B-rated trying to chase down Delhi, a bit of a gap between them, but it's nothing impossible to catch up, is that, in the last couple of laps, depending on how B-rated manages to go. Looking back, we've got Munguinho behind him after the back marker of MRC Gr3. So Munguinho in 5th position, looks like he's just about to drive past Gr3 and catch up as much as possible to B-rated in the remainder of this race. So B-rated, crucially now, is actually got into the slipstream of Delhi, closes right up onto him on the brakes with the concertina effect a little bit through there. Always seems to happen in the hairpins, so it looks like you get really close on the brakes, and then as you both get back on the accelerator through the exit, the gap grows massively again. But as we see Delhi struggling a little bit through the last couple of corners, so B-rated just keeping it nice and tidy and doing a good job of catching up to Delhi there. So B-rated towards the end of the race looking to challenge for 3rd position now, the last step on the podium. I'm pretty sure unless there's a mistake between Donkey Chong and Dawson, the deal is sealed between those two. So we'll keep an eye on this. GT Delhi fighting away for third position now as he's getting chased down. Looks like he's gone well through those first couple of corners. Onto lap 22 now though. So doing a good job through this first sector to stay in front of B-Rated. B-Rated doing a really good job on that last lap of closing in on Delhi. Can't count Munguinho out in the background though. He's also a good racer, good fast racer. And he's there in 5th, sat there waiting for any opportunity to develop in front of him. This might actually turn out to be the last lap, so I do apologise if it is, because I'm not really commentating on it as it is. Some of the guys will be hoping it is with the fuel loads that they've got. So GT Delhi's not got a lot of fuel left. B-Ray looking for the move, dive down the inside. Can I get it done nice and cleanly? Gets the job done. Just gets the drive on the exit as well towards the end sector of the lap. So B-Rated gets the job done on GT Delhi on what might be the last lap. I'm not quite sure. I think it will be. So up into third, takes that last podium spot with a very good move. And it looks like GT Delhi's getting hustled from behind now from Munguinho as well, so he might lose that if he's not careful. It is the last lap as the 40 minutes goes. Oh, does it? Yep. So that's the last lap. So B-Rated on the last lap just gets past Delhi. Donkey Chong and Dawson get another lap in. Delhi B finishes in 4th. Munguinho, incredibly close finish between those guys in the end, finishes in 5th. Pav comes over the line in 6th. Diablo in 7th, close finish between those guys as well. Morley in 8th. S2 Law in 9th. Not quite. Can S2 Law make it happen in the last couple of corners to get past Morley? Don't look like it's close enough. I'm not quite sure why these guys are ghosting as well, but they are. Morley looks like he's going to hold on to 8th position. S2 Law in 9th. And we've actually got Donkey Chong, Wimpy, MRC Lega, sorry, in 10th, Mr. Ginger in 11th, Wimpy 82 looks like he's going to come home in 12th, and we've got Donkey Chong actually coming past some of the back markers now in 1st. So a good win there from Donkey Chong. He does win quite a lot of races, this guy, looking at the league tables, as I keep an eye on the Fusion League in the MRC. And obviously winning championships, you have to win a few races along the way. So another win there in this championship from Donkey Chong. Good race. Dawson in 2nd. Another really quick guy coming home in 2nd. And that's pretty much it. Bit of a mixed way of doing the results, but there we go. I can stop shouting now. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far, I'm going to pretty much leave it at that. Thank you again, and thanks for sticking with me. If you enjoyed that, give us a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe and stick with me for the rest of the season, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. I'm not going to say a lot else, so take care and adios.